Jose wants Jadon Sancho? Yes, please, we'll go for that. We're going to talk about where that story's come from. Manchester United's hunt for a number 10 hots up as Matias Kuna turns down several approaches from one of Manchester United rivals. He wants United. He's already warming to the United fan base. Semeno again in the news. Another update on top of Edison from what we said earlier on today in our midday video also. And big updates on Ruben Amarim's plans going into the summer. How much he will be backed and who does he have a big problem with. You'll be surprised how many is what I'm saying on that one. All of that alongside your live comments, and if you are catching up later on, please do drop your comments in to the comment section below on all the topics we discuss here on Forever United TV. I'm Adam, welcome along. If you are live right now, sorry it's a little bit earlier, I have something really important tonight, cup final for my son, so I have to do the show a little bit earlier today. So again, massive appreciation for you all with the change of schedule and still jumping into the live show. Get your comments in there as well, talk to the mods and get involved in the community chat there, please everybody. Get talking. Everybody was talking about Jadon Sancho and what we were talking about the last few days. Now, we know that Jadon Sancho is probably coming back right now. And just another story to bring you regarding the possibility of that £5 million fee paid by Chelsea and then a £25 million move on top of that somewhere else. Now, it looks like Fenerbahce have jumped into the bidding, as you would say. And Jose Mourinho apparently, according to sources over in Turkey, has definitely given the go-ahead to going for Jadon Sancho and bringing him in to Fenerbahce. I don't know how true this is. I don't know if this is a genuine link again. All this really is for me is it's good that we're getting other clubs looking interested in Jadon Sancho. And there is always a place for somebody. The only concern I've got is if we do manage to hold our fee and hold what we want for Jadon Sancho, we have to end up getting rid of Jadon Sancho with whatever penalties are paid and whatever transfer fees are paid. We have to be getting 25 million because that's what we were all getting our hopes up for at the start of the season. When Jadon Sancho agreed to go to Chelsea, there was a 25 million obligation. That obligation has been met in terms of the criteria, and they're still sending him back. He's had 14 goal involvements this season, 10 assists for Jadon Sancho and 4 goals. It's probably better than what he would have done at Man United, I think, guaranteed. But still, not enough for Chelsea, and he is coming back to United. We know about that. But Jose Mourinho and Fenerbahce are looking very, very interested in Jadon Sancho. Obviously, we know about the interest from Bayer Leverkusen as well, and what's happening over there with Alonso moving. I've got another video coming out on Football Talk straight after this live show, everybody. So if you haven't already, please do subscribe to Football Talks as well. Another video coming up, interestingly, on Bayer Leverkusen and Jeremy Frimpong going the opposite way. Does that leave room for somebody to go in? Jadon Sancho's your man, surely. Good record over in the Bundesliga. There are links and connections all over the place, which is why we're running 2 channels now, just to piece it all together for you and give you as much information as I possibly can. And that is the detail of Jadon Sancho, right up to date from everything that's been reported today. There are rumour of other clubs, Fenerbahce, Bayer Leverkusen, Dortmund are staying clear. Chelsea have not come out and confirmed that he's coming back yet, but we know from all of the noises, like we reported earlier on, now talking to Victor Osimhen and not looking to put Jadon Sancho onto the books because they're going to need substantial amounts of money to pay for Victor Osimhen and his wage demands. They desperately need a striker more than a winger at the moment. But Chelsea still could be looking at moving Jadon Sancho on from United and taking another Manchester United player in Alejandro Garnacho, because that news and that story is not dying off right now. That leads us into the story regarding Ruben Amarim and what the Muppeteers have been talking about today. They have just confirmed everything I said regarding Edison in that in that video earlier on, saying that Manchester United's interest is definite. It is true, but Atalanta are driving a very, very hard bargain, and all of a sudden the details of that deal are starting to change, and that's going to be interesting moving forward. So, yeah, there's a lot of moving pieces around at the moment. We need to fast forward to Thursday next week, and we will know a whole lot more of what's going on at Manchester United. whether we're having a barbecue at Carrington because we've won the Europa League, whether we're looking at different targets because we've won the Europa League, whether we're licking our wounds because we've been beaten by Spurs, our season is dead, and they have beaten us 4 times in one season, therefore rubber stamping our worst ever Premier League season in the club's history, bar none. It would that would just be the icing on the cake when it comes to how poor United have been this summer. But look, just to round up that opening segment right there, Jadon Sancho to Fenerbahce is a possibility. It is being reported mainly from the Turkey side, so obviously you've got to take it with a pinch of salt, I would say. But again, it's just another story which is confirming that most people around in football, agents, clubs, are getting wind of Jadon Sancho being returned to Manchester United. Again, just more confirmation that this is probably going to happen now, and we're going to have to accept that this freedom fighter, Mr Sancho, is going to be back at United and then moved on again, and it is down to Manchester United's structure to actually get the best deal out for United. I just said, look, just get the 25 million we were promised. Well, one way or the other, whether it's a £20 million deal to Fenerbahce or something like that, because we got £5 million off Chelsea. Let's just get him gone, get the money in, and get them wages off the book so we can bring somebody else in. That's all we care about with Jadon Sancho right now. But multiple opportunities opening up for Jadon Sancho all over the place, and believe it or not, he's still a wanted man, and that's been proved with all of these reports and links with several different clubs across Europe in all sorts of different leagues. I do think Turkey League, I don't know, with the demand of them fans over there, maybe send him back to Ole. I don't know. Maybe Besiktas would be interested. I'm joking. But yeah, what you're looking at there, I think, is clubs taking advantage of, again, another situation that's developing at Manchester United. Not good for us, but obviously if you're a club and you're looking in on Manchester United right now, you're going to pick off what pieces work for you. And if there's a certain situation or scenario developing that brings you a player on the cheap that United are desperate to get rid of, like every club in Europe know regarding our situation right now, then you're going to jump all over that. And I think that's just what Fenerbahce are doing. And Jose Mourinho isn't shy of trying to find a little crafty deal every now and then, and just figure out a little snidey one on the side, is he? And so maybe Jadon Sancho would fit in right there at Fenerbahce. I don't know. I don't think it is the ideal situation regarding Jadon Sancho. I think he would probably best just move to Germany and stay there, where his only part of his whole career has been anything decent or anywhere near decent. So yeah, I think just get over to Germany, Jadon. Live your life over there, play your football over there. That's all we can hope for anyway. And I'm sure for him, after this, that's him at the top level done. Like, this was his chance to do something for Chelsea in the Premier League. I don't see any other Premier League ever going back in for Jadon Sancho again. There was that small rumour about Wolves, but I don't think it's going anywhere. I want to move on past Jadon Sancho anyway. My main story tonight was, in fact, I jumped on Jadon Sancho because anytime I see that guy moving away from Manchester United or any report of him leaving United, I'm all over it because I just want to manifest it and make it happen. And so, yeah, Jadon Sancho just sneaks into the top spot there for priority subjects tonight on the show. But CUNHA, Matias Kuna for Manchester United. Now, the United fans are going to love this. Now, I was told earlier on today privately, and you've seen the reports anyway today, his deal has been broken down, and as they always do, because it's United, they want to break it down in euros, so it looks like United are spending a fortune again, so they can slaughter us if that player doesn't work. It's just what they do. There's 5 million in add-ons, there's this, there's that. It's adding up to 80 million euros. Yes, euros. Let's not forget how much that is in pounds. And Manchester United are about to make this deal happen. According to the reports today, several, you can see them everywhere, Manchester United are very, very close to that verbal agreement being put in place. There are more talks this week with Wolves regarding the structure of the payments. Them talks are happening because Matias Kuna has told Arsenal it isn't happening. Andrea Berta, who is the sporting director at Arsenal, previously of Atleti, who was the one that sold Matias Kuna from the Spanish Giants in Madrid, he has been trying his best. There has been several meetings between Andrea Berta and Matias Cunha's representatives, and it's all been met with the same reply and same response. I ain't going anywhere but Manchester United. That's what's coming out from these reports, and now every Manchester United fan can start jumping onto the Matias Cunha bandwagon and looking at him as a future hero of Manchester United. Look, I'm just trying to make light of a negative time for the club and trying to spin positives where I can, but I don't need to spin Cunha. This has been very, very positive from the get-go. He has made it very clear that he's not bothered about Manchester United being in any European competition. He's not bothered about any other club coming in for him. He wants to go to United. United will be able to negotiate the better deal for them in terms of the transfer fee structure and payments for him, because he is hell-bent on going to Manchester United. So straight away there, you've got a player that has made this deal happen for Manchester United. There has been no awkwardness. He's been very open. He's been very clear. He's been very professional in terms of playing out his time at Wolves and performing. Well, all of this news has been going on in the background. And he hasn't budged. He isn't bothered about any other club but Manchester United. And that's been set in stone now. And obviously, into the last week of the season next week, we're expecting these deals to be done. Really interesting developments. And again, please do go and watch the transfer update show on Football Talks after this show is finished. It is due to go on around about 6:15 on Football Talks, my other channel. But there are a lot of Premier League ins and outs because of, and proof that what FIFA have done in opening this transfer window has been the catalyst to several deals moving very, very quickly. And we know, as usual, once money starts exchanging hands with other clubs and other players, it does have that domino effect, and everything starts to move very, very quickly regarding other transfers. Everybody's got 4 weeks to get as much business as they can possibly get done within the 2024-25 season financials. And it's a mad scramble. And then if you can make money in this period, as soon as July 1st hits and the new season's finances are available to work with, it goes even crazier. So really, this is just a little tune-up in June, going into July, and bang, 3 solid months of transfers and activity with no international tournaments on. It's wild. It's going to be crazy. This is happening with several players right now. It seems you get very, very red tinted when you're looking at just your club. And I've done a lot of homework and a lot of research into other deals and the possibility of players moving on. There is a lot happening. So that's on that other video coming up after this. But it does prove that Manchester United have got funds in this financial year. There was a story that came out earlier on today from Jamie Jackson, bless him, of The Guardian. Good friend of the channel and always a great listen and good writer and great to talk to. But he has been completely shut down by several sources from what he wrote today, saying that Matias Kuna and Liam Dilap, all being Manchester United's top 2 targets, United need to sell to buy them players in. It is not the case. And there has been loads of people jump onto this, and creditable sources and reliable journalists jumping onto this as well today, saying that that is not the case. United do not need to sell anybody to bring in Matias Kuna in particular. Now, Dilap, I don't know. It seems like we have got Dilap as well as Cunha in terms of availability and finances. The problem we've got is, and bless them, Sky Sports News, couple of days behind everybody as usual these days. Kaveh Solikov has come out and said that Dilap is favouring a move to Manchester United. I'm sure we've heard that before. Oh, yeah, that was yesterday. Yes, well done, Sky. Well done. You have finally caught up. But he is saying that he is still waiting to see what happens in Europe, and this is just red flagging it continuously for me, for Liam Dilap at the moment. And look, I've backed him. I've worked out all the different permutations, situations, circumstances for every club, for the player, why I would choose that player, looking at everything, and I'm like, every single time I break it down and look at it, I'm like, how are you in any position whatsoever to be holding these big clubs for ransom when you have just been part of one of the worst Premier League teams in the Premier League era in Ipswich? You've done well yourself, well done, but don't get ahead of yourself, for God's sake. These agents have got so much power over these players these days, And that, I think, is the problem with Liam Dilap right now. His agent's got ahead of himself, and he's holding these clubs up. And yeah, I'm sure there will be someone. The only reason he would do it is because he knows that there's about 5 or 6 clubs after him. Newcastle want him, Arsenal want him, Chelsea want him, Manchester United want him. There are plenty that would take him. If the deal doesn't work out for United because we're not in Europe, then see you later, Liam Dilap. I don't give a shit, is my honest answer to that. Any player that won't come to United... And what Sky is saying today is he just wants to see what is out there, what's available, and what works best for him. I still think that even if United don't get Champions League football, there's a good chance that we get Liam Dilap still. I think this has been blown up a little bit when it's not really the full story. I don't think. I think he's just saying it just to string along the rest of the season. I feel, and I think it's his agent bumping up interest. It really is. I think that's all it is, because it's like, for instance, look at the clubs that are involved. Chelsea, Manchester United, Newcastle, Arsenal. Now, Arsenal are going for a bigger fish, but Chelsea, Newcastle, Manchester United, their Champions League finances and their Champions League future is in the balance right now. We don't know if any 3 of them teams are going to be in. It's still all to play for. United with a final and Chelsea with the 2 remaining games in the Premier League, same as Newcastle. Like, everybody's scrapping and fighting for them places. So I just feel like Dilap's agent has just played a card here, and it's worked out well for them, because he knows that nobody's going to fully commit until they know exactly what their finances are. And I believe that clubs like Newcastle, clubs like Chelsea... Well, Chelsea's different. Chelsea's more like United, because Chelsea are in the Club World Cup. So Chelsea can actually bid for Liam Dilap now. I don't think Newcastle can until next year. And I think this is what the agent is trying to do. He's trying to give the other clubs a little bit of time and just string this along a little bit, just to see who has got the finances and can make this move happen. Because I'm sure Liam Dilap will wait it out until after July 1st if he has to, because he's going to the under-21s. European Championships, that is. I mean, if he does go to Chelsea, the European Championships are off, because Chelsea are going to take him to the Club World Cup. So that really is another decision that he's going to make. I just think it's all been blown up a bit, and his agent has definitely, he's worked it well. Let's just say that anyway. But yeah, back on Matias Kuna anyway, and what he's up to right now is, again, like we just said, just to confirm it, like everybody else has. He is on his way to Manchester United. It looks set, and because of his commitment personally, it has given United the time and the chance to negotiate what they need necessary to get this deal done financially with a transfer fee. Let's get into some comments on the show, everybody. Welcome along, people. We had over 1,100 in the room already, which is amazing considering we actually started the show early tonight. So thank you again for joining us. Lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of freedom coming Sancho's way. Loving Cunha already, by the way. Thank you for that super chat, Greg. In total agreement with you, buddy. Any chance of United lowering Atalanta's demands on Edison by loaning them Erasmus for a season? If United get Champions League, we would be in the market for Edison. But if that was to happen, Ross, we would need to obviously buy 2 strikers. That's the snag, I think, in it. We could offer players in exchange. I'm sure we could. I mean, I would not be against sending out Toby Collier on loan for a season, just to help things along, do a bit of a sweetener, something like that, sending Rasmus Højlund out. Obviously, hopefully, United would get Dilap and then another striker on top of him. If that was the case, we cannot allow Rasmus Højlund to leave. As shit as he is, we cannot allow him to leave if we don't have another striker lined up, i.e. 2 strikers coming in. Cunha can do it as a 10. I'm sure Semeno can do it as a 10. That news is floating around TalkSport, and Alex Crook, who is very, very close to Bournemouth and the South Coast teams. I know this. I've spoken to him personally, and he has always talked about his love for the South Coast and the teams down there. He knows a lot about Southampton, a lot about Bournemouth, and he is saying that Manchester United have been in contact, and Semeno is a definite target for Manchester United. Expect movement on that deal. Again, if United if United get the win next Wednesday, If United get the win next Wednesday, expect these are the deals that you can see moving very, very quickly. Dilap, Semeno, Edison, you'll start to see all of that moving forward. Edison, no, is a no-rush transfer. Remember that. That's not going to be done in June. United are happy to wait it out. So too are Atalanta. Romano has confirmed that also, that the Edison deal will be one that just goes a little bit longer. There's no mad rush. There's a lot of negotiating to do now that, like I said earlier on in the midday video, Atalanta have moved the goalpost a little bit again regarding the transfer fee. They don't want to let Edison go, particularly with them being able to compete in the Champions League again next season. So that is your update on CUNHA and Dilap and what's happening with them. Semeno definitely is a Manchester United target. That's come from Alex Crook on TalkSport, and he does have a lot of contacts in and around Bournemouth. So that, I think we can just say, is waiting in the wings to see what happens against Spurs next week. And that, I think, is really important to remember as well. Like, we are building up, we're getting excited, we are negotiating with teams, we are negotiating with players, trying to get everything in place, ready for what hopefully will be that big hurrah and Manchester United bringing home that trophy, and so they can put it up there on the mantelpiece in Carrington, and then everyone can go outside and have a nice little barbie, as it's been said. No open-top bus parade. United are going to get the sizzlers on the go, get them rat bursters going there, get some big buns out, some quarter-pounders on the go. I'm sure United will avoid the chicken because we've got a bad reputation for uncooked chicken at Manchester United, haven't we? So, yeah, I don't think that will be on the menu anyway at Carrington. But obviously, United cannot do a open-top bus parade because they will be back in Manchester on the Friday or Thursday. Then on Friday, it's preparation for Aston Villa, press conferences, blah, blah, blah. And obviously then, on the day of the game against Aston Villa, we fly out that night to Malaysia for the start of pre-season. In the early part of pre-season, sorry. And all of that money that's coming Manchester United's way for playing 2 games over there in Malaysia. So no room, no time, no open-top bus parade. To be honest, I wouldn't want to do it anyway. We didn't do it for the FA Cup. We didn't do it for the League Cup. We're definitely not going to do it for the Europa League. The only open-top bus parade United should ever do is a minimum requirement of winning the Premier League. And I don't think the streets of Manchester are going to be lined with red scarves and flags for a long, long time. And that's not going to happen. Now, if you won the FA Cup and the Europa League in one season, I think that maybe gives you the right to do an open-top bus parade. 2 trophies in a season? Yeah, I think so. I think so. United will definitely not parade 1 trophy, 1 cup trophy, and an open-top bus parade. We just don't do that. It says it all, though, doesn't it, when United are having a barbecue to celebrate winning a trophy which has saved the club. God, man. I tell you what, when the journalists found that story out, I bet they could not wait to run it. Oh, my God. That is like the biggest jab at Ineos ever. Oh, I could just see them now, like, writing that out and just typing that out, like, laughing to themselves. Wait till everybody sees this. This is going to make everybody go in on them. Brilliant story for the journalist, that one. God, this is super chat. Saw some videos stating Thuram from Inter is a great match for United stats wise. Have you heard anything about us being linked to him yet? A Champions League final and Scudetto challenging side, main striker alongside Lautaro Martinez is not going to come to Manchester United, Roars. I'm sorry. I don't think that is in. I don't think that's in the offing. I really don't. I mean, when you look at it, let's just have a quick look now. Let's just have a quick nosy on. Right, so as it stands right now, the league table in Italy with 2 games to go, it's quite scary. You've got Napoli, you've got Inter, 1 point separating both of them. So all to play for. Inter are in the Champions League guaranteed next season. Obviously, Atalanta are looking, let's just check them out. Yeah, Atalanta are also confirmed as Champions League next season. So when you're looking at Manchester United and you're looking at possibilities again, and this is what I do, and this is how deep I look into it. I look at all the other clubs. I look at what they've got right there. Like Atalanta, for instance, Edison. you've got a Champions League qualified team already there that's losing Ademola Lookman, who's going to be going, who is third leading goal scorer in Serie A, by the way, for Atalanta this season. He's going. And then you're going to be losing Edison as well. This is why Edison is going to start fetching a higher price. Like, Atalanta are trying to protect what they've got. Atalanta are trying to protect the squad that they've got so they can compete in the Champions League next season. And obviously in Serie A. Because staying in the Champions League for a club like them just gives them the room to manoeuvre and get players deals that are necessary to keep, and then obviously bringing in new players as well. Look, Atalanta are never going to be able to keep their best players. It's just the way it goes in football, isn't it? But what they can do is hold up their end by saying, look, we're in the Champions League and we're completely secure. You're not, as in United. No, we're definitely not. And that's what you're up against now. If United get Champions League football, everything changes when it comes to negotiating anyway. You could easily say that United then hold more of a bargaining chip when it comes to it. Malps, who's just renewed his membership, 9 months. You're creeping up to that gold membership, mate. Well done, Malps. Thank you again, buddy. He says, Amarim has done 900... I've heard this. This is a crazy stat. Amarim has done 491 interviews and counting. 269 interviews for the 25 Premier League games. 150 interviews for the 10 times 10 Europa games. 45 interviews for domestic cup games. He's a Man United manager, mate. And that has to be expected. It's probably the same as Ten Hag, I'm guessing. But let's not forget, these companies pay Manchester United an awful lot of money, and that is where we're actually at with it. That's why United do it, because they get paid a fortune for it. By the way, another target of Manchester United, we talked about Osimhen going to Chelsea. Victor Yokarez has told Arsenal his wage demands. Yokarez to Arsenal, unfortunately for Manchester United, is moving closer and closer and closer, and no, it's not good news for us. It really isn't. Whichever way you look at our rivals all strengthening, it's bad news for Manchester United. And again, it just shows you why we need to be moving as quickly as possible in this transfer market coming up. We need to be on top of it. I'm just going to read out some extra bits here. Just to quickly clarify the Sky Sports one on Liam Dilap. Even though Manchester United aren't having a great season, Liam Dilap still feels they are a big club. I get the feeling that the player would be up for moving to United, even if they were not to make the Champions League. Yeah, that's pretty much what I said there before. I still think there's a lot in there. I just think his agent has played it perfectly. I think that's exactly what's happened there. But yes, Arsenal have made an offer of 75 million euros for Victor Yokarez. They fear Chelsea will submit a superior bid to beat them to his signature. This is good for United in a way, because we're finding out exactly what Yokarez is going to cost. Arsenal and Chelsea can go at it, no problem. If United win next Wednesday, all of a sudden our finances change and we can look at these deals and we can look at what Chelsea and Arsenal are doing and go, okay, what can we afford? What can we do? 75 million euros is in already for Victor Yokarez. That's kind of scary because that completely eclipses what we were told before. And this is why I think The Athletic came out months ago saying United were not willing to spend 60 odd million on a player that's turning 27. I think Yokarez is still there as an option for United. I don't think they'll go for him simply because that price is getting very, very steep. And we need to improve in a lot of positions this summer as well. There was interesting comments from the Muppeters earlier on regarding the situation with Ruben Amarim. Ruben Amarim is safe at Manchester United, completely safe. He is going nowhere and will be at Manchester United. He will be backed. He will be backed heavily this summer. He has got a problem with several players apparently, and the mentality of several players. This is the report coming out from the Muppeters saying that Manchester United are looking into trying to offload several players off the back of what Ruben Amarim has said. He does have a big say in what is going on, Ruben Amarim. A massive say, in fact, in what is going on. this summer, but there is going to be a lot of shaking and moving going on, and there's going to be an awful lot of players being shipped out of Manchester United. And that's the story coming out this afternoon also. Ruben Amarim is not happy. He really isn't happy. And behind the scenes, he's ready to go full-on ruthless cutthroat mode and get rid of several players. Again, until it happens, I will look at it and I won't believe it. What you've got to look at there, I think, is proof that he has tried to do what he needs to do. We've said this all along. He's not been able to with these players. They continuously let him down and fail. And like I said in the last 2 morning videos, where it's been all about Ruben Amarim, his last chance this morning, time for change was yesterday morning, and Ruben Amarim asking for brave decisions to be made this summer. It all starts to filter into different stories later on down the line, and a bit more detail starts to get added, and then you find out what is really going on. I reckon there's about 10 players that Ruben Amarim would want to get rid of from Manchester United. I think he knows who his players are that he can trust, but they realistically don't have the qualities to carry him forward. He needs reinforcements coming in very, very quickly. And that, I think, is the big thing. The Muppeteers also confirmed that Matias Kuna is all but done for Manchester United as well, which we already knew. And he has been a shining beacon over a absolute carnage few weeks for Manchester United. Matias Kuna in the transfer window, we wish that we could get deals like that constantly, all of the time. Let's get into the chat and see what you're all saying. Again, get your comments in, everybody, if you've got any points to get across. Mr. Dacia Sendero says, I think the bulk of our budget is going to be needed on experienced striker. Got to pay high for this. A keeper, Lord, an actual goalkeeper, a Bruno replacement, and Edison just for starters. Just on that, by the way, Simon Stone from the BBC did confirm several options for Manchester United regarding goalkeeper. There is going to be movements in the summer with goalkeepers for United. Whether you think Anan is safe and what he says is enough, again, Ruben isn't messing around. As much as he likes these players, as much as he backs them, well, the season is on. Once that season finishes, he is all too willing to let these players go. That's the word coming out, and that's the story. But Simon Stone also goes on, and he thinks that Manchester United are probably going to be looking. They're probably going to be looking at the Lamens type of goalkeeper and things like that, and players like that. That's what he thinks anyway. That's the name that he's put out there anyway. In fact, on Manchester United's goalkeeping targets, Royal Antwerp's Seni Lamens is a name I hear quite often, so I wouldn't be surprised if United go for him. That's what Simon Stone said regarding Manchester United's goalkeeper hunt. And I do believe that United will go and get a goalkeeper this summer. They have to go out and get a goalkeeper this summer. It would be absolutely crazy to leave Ruben Amarim with that duck egg in goal. It really would. Andrew says, Amarim is all talk, no action. In what way, mate? His transfer window isn't open yet, so let's judge him after he has got rid of the so-called crap players. If he hasn't, then he can come back and easily have a go, Andrew, to be honest. Let's just see what else we've got here. Amarim knew way back in January who he wants and doesn't want at the club. Surely Ineos has a plan to move us forward. I want to see us explode out the blocks like prime Usain Bolt. Explode out of the blocks into the transfer window? Yes, I think so. Yeah, just to go over the top story as well, which we started with tonight, for anyone who is just joining us right now, that would be on Jadon Sancho being a target for Jose Mourinho at Fenerbahce, and more proof that Chelsea are going to pay that $5 million fee and send Jadon Sancho back to Manchester United. Not good at all. But there is an opportunity, and the report, as you can see going across the bottom of your screen, is for Fenerbahce to buy Jadon Sancho for $25 million, the same fee that was the obligation within Chelsea's loan, or should have been. We're now coming up against not happening. That really is where Manchester United are at with Jadon Sancho. We covered Anthony earlier this morning. There's no more updates on him. Nothing more on Marcus Rashford or Alejandro Garnacho. And Manchester United, like we said just a moment ago, under Ruben Amarim this summer, word is we can expect a mass exodus out of Manchester United. That's what is being rumoured at the moment anyway. So let's just see. Midnight Lovers says, hi Adam, just remember if Arsenal lose both games, it could be they don't get Champions League and no Yokarez. What do you think? I don't see Arsenal not winning any of them games. I think with no Champions League football, European football getting in the way of them, I think they can play a strong team. But saying that though, it is Liverpool and Newcastle, isn't it, for Arsenal? Oh no, they've already played Liverpool. What am I talking about? Idiot. Yeah, I mean, actually, let's just double check quickly. We're just gonna, what's the name? Just having a look at this table. In terms of what other clubs competing against Manchester United for certain players, Arsenal are 5 points clear. So with their goal difference, a draw for Arsenal, 1 point will see Arsenal qualify. So I cannot see that affecting them at all. Look, Nottingham Forest can still creep in too. Nottingham Forest can still creep into that top 5. And Chelsea's games against Manchester United, that's their game obviously on Friday, which I think they hold a good advantage of. If United do manage to pull off a miracle and get anything out of that Chelsea game, check that one out, the last game of the season, Nottingham Forest against Chelsea. United could really throw a spanner in Chelsea's works if they turn up at Stamford Bridge. And like Ruben said, United are preparing for Stamford Bridge. They're not looking at any other game. It's as simple as that. Stamford Bridge is all he's thinking about right now. I think City will get in. I mean, they're looking at their games. They've got Bournemouth on Tuesday. Obviously, they've got their semi-final this weekend as well. Sorry, they've got the FA Cup final. Jesus. Sorry, I've mixed up there. Fulham away and Bournemouth at home. Both teams chasing Europe. Could be difficult, but yeah, I still think Arsenal will make it. Liverpool, I do believe Newcastle now are looking quite comfortable, although they do have to play Arsenal yet. But I just think with the other teams playing each other and who they've got, I think Newcastle will get in. I think it's as it is. I think Aston Villa and Nottingham Forest will miss out. That's my honest opinion on that. And they're not really affecting us in terms of our targets. Arsenal will get in. I think Chelsea will get in. And then United are really up against it. So they're going to have to be very creative in the transfer market. Rawls with a super chat says, Rashford, Sancho, Anthony, Garner, and no room need PSR, Anana, Bayende, Lindelof, Ericsson, Evans, Malacia, and hopefully at the end, Shaw. Most under 21s team as well. He's going full on squad exodus there, mate. Aston Villa in the league is, and United in the league is. I know who is a better side. Unai Emery is a good manager, and Amarim isn't. And Rashford being quality, Aston Villa is not a surprise. I wouldn't say quality, David. I don't think he's been that good, to be honest. I've been backing United most of my life, pal. I am not a new fan. Oh, someone's having an argument. Never mind. Don't let it upset you, everybody. Just get along nicely. That's all that matters. United fans need to be as one right now. I can't see that happening, to be honest. There's so much arguing going on right now. And yeah, it is going to be a bit of a free-for-all if things go wrong over the next two games. Honestly, if we win the Europa League next week, I am probably looking forward to the Villa game because we can parade the trophy, we can sit there and relax, and we can say goodbye to what has been an absolute shocker of a season. If United lose these next 3 games, God help this United fan base. It is going to be war. Absolute war. And don't forget, there is another protest on the last game of the season for Manchester United from the 58 group. Another protest against the Glazers in remembrance of the Glazers taking over 20 years ago. Scary that, isn't it? Funny, 20 years ago, the Glazers took over. And tonight I'm actually at FC United, the breakaway Manchester United fan group that created another club because of that takeover. I am at that game tonight. My son plays for FC United under-18s. We've got our cup final tonight at FC United Stadium. If anyone is local to that, it's free to enter. So if you want to come along and watch the game, come and watch it. I'll be there. Looking forward to it now. And that is my leave for the show as well, everybody. That's where I'll leave it, because I do need to get going and get ready. But thank you, everyone. Absolutely brilliant comments, as always. Cheers to all of the mods for helping out. Everybody who donated in the show, thank you so much for being there earlier on the show tonight. I know it's different to our normal schedule. I really do appreciate you all being in. As usual, absolute dedication as always. Thank you, everybody. Absolutely immense. Give the video a like on the way out. We're nearly at 300 again. And obviously make sure you hit that subscribe button as well if you want to keep up to date with all Manchester United news on and off the pitch. I've got you covered. Don't forget, everybody, in about 2 minutes' time, over on our other channel on Football Talks, we have got a full transfer update of everything else that's going on in the Premier League. I'm just going to drop that into the live chat right now, so you've got it there anyway. So please do go over. If you haven't subscribed to my other channel already, please do. That's in the live chat now. Video coming up in just 1 minute time, actually. But for now, here on FUTV, thank you. I'll see you all later on in the morning, 8 o'clock. Have a good one, people. Have a great evening. And, yeah, let's hope there's no more dramas tonight for United. See you in a bit.